What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Neil Villapiano, the host of the Devil's State of Mind podcast, and I know that it's been several weeks. Someone on Twitter even mentioned to me that it's been about 3 weeks since the last time I posted a podcast episode, and I know that I've had people ask me, where have I been, or how come I haven't been consistent like I've been in the past, or whatever the case may be. And the truth of the matter is that I have been over the last couple of weeks really struggling with my mental health. I've talked about this in the past. I've done episodes on this specific topic in the past. This is the first one I've done in a long time. Um, but I felt that it was necessary to at least get something out for you guys because the good thing that I have is that I have a platform that I can feel comfortable enough to speak about this specific thing and what I'm going through. And I mentioned on Twitter and Instagram late last night, that I was going to record this episode and I was going to talk about this specific thing. And I want to first start off by saying thank you to everybody that has reached out, that has commented on the post, just showing their support and just being there for me because it really does mean a lot. And obviously, I haven't had the chance to meet everybody in person that I interact with on a daily basis or even on a weekly basis, whether it's through the Devils or work in general or whatever the case may be. But I'm coming on here to kind of talk to you a little bit about, what goes on for me behind the scenes. Because obviously, you guys, a lot of you only know me and interact with me through social media or maybe seeing me at a Devils game or whatever the case may be. And obviously, you don't know what goes on outside of the Devils world. And I wanted to kind of shine some light on that so that in the hope that you guys have a better understanding of, the day to day that I go through and also just overall the struggles at times that I go through. So to simply start, I have been in a pretty bad spot mentally. And a big part of that is the feeling of, or not the feeling, but the lack of self worth. I've always been very hard on myself for everything, for, content, for pursuing my career as a sports content creator, um, school, um, friendship wise, relationship wise, um, things like that. And every week I wake up and I try to figure out how can I best use the energy that I have to get to have success. I think is the best way I can describe it. And I would say honestly, things have not really gone that well over the last couple of weeks. It's been a struggle. I've had times where I just didn't have the energy to come on here and talk about the Devils, not because of obviously the way they've been playing. They've been playing very well, other than the last game that they played on Saturday, and that 6-5 loss to the Capitals. And the day that I'm recording this, the Devils are taking on the Rangers in the first battle of this year's Hudson River rivalry later on tonight. So big game tonight for the Devils. And I have been following the team. Don't get me wrong. If you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and also over on Blue Sky, you guys know that I still try to watch every game. I still try to cover every game. In terms of giving you guys the content, the podcast specifically, I haven't been consistent at all. And a big part of that is just feeling overwhelmed. To give you guys a better understanding of that, it's not the podcast itself that's overwhelming to me. It's, for those of you that don't know, not only do I record, but I write the scripts, I edit the podcast, I export it, I share it to social media, I create clips for it. I do all of that. None of that is done by anyone else but me. And I give myself a lot of credit that I spend that much time and effort to do everything on my own. Um, and I think over time, there I've certainly developed burnout. There's no question about that. And it's also because of the amount of other responsibilities that I have. Obviously, I do write for Pucks and Pitchforks, which I'm forever grateful to be writing for. I just wrote a new article last week, and I didn't realize how much I enjoyed writing till I started actually doing it over the last year and change, doing it for the hockey writers, doing it for Inside the Rink, doing it for Big Apple Hockey, and now doing it for Pucks and Pitchforks. I really, really do enjoy it. I also write for another website called The Lead, which has nothing to do with hockey. I actually cover the Brooklyn Nets um, for that website. Um, if you guys want, you can go check out Nets Lead over on Twitter. That's the social media account that I run, covering the Brooklyn Nets, and I also try to write weekly articles with that. I also did just recently get offered the opportunity to cover the New York Jets in the NFL for another website called Last Word on Sports. Um, so, as you can see from a content perspective, there's a lot that goes on in my weekly, every week for me, trying to find that balance. And I haven't been able to find that balance. And so I get very overwhelmed, I get stressed out, and then I end up not doing anything because I'm just too tired. I'm just tired throughout the day, and it's a struggle. It's really, really a struggle for me. Um, Also, I work for a nonprofit called Lead You, which is owned by the Society for the Prevention of Teen Suicide, which is very important to me because of the fact of how things went when I was in, late middle school, high school, and even to some extent college. And some of that stuff still unfortunately lingers on to this very day. Um, but working for 3 to 4 days a week, you have to get up really early in the morning, go to these schools, and obviously do these assemblies. And I love it because I love making that impact. I think it's just over time you you just get really tired because you come home, you travel, hours away from your house and everything, and over time it could take a toll on you. I didn't realize that it could until this year. Um, and the other couple of things that stand out are, as you can see if you're watching here on YouTube, I'm wearing a William Patterson sweatshirt. For those of you that live in either New Jersey or especially North Jersey, you know about William Patterson University. I just found out last week that if I continue to obviously pass my classes like I've been doing, that I will be able to walk at the commencement in May, which ironically will be at the Prudential Center. So I'm really excited about that. But I think obviously it also added on more stress because now there's that much bigger pressure to want to do the best that I can to pass these classes so that I can indeed graduate in May. And I feel that I will. It's just going to require help, and I get help from my family, um, which is needed. But staying up late like I did last night until like 1:30, trying to get work done, homework done. It's a lot. I think I've only been up for maybe like a half hour, but I knew that I wanted to come on here right away when things are still fresh to kind of talk to you guys about. So we have that as well. And yeah, I mean, that's a lot. I think for anybody, you could probably agree that it's a lot on my plate. It's a lot of things that I'm responsible for. It's a lot of things that I'm, required to do. And people might ask me, why do I do so much? Why do I say yes to a lot of things? Why do I, especially from my career standpoint, why do I do that? Simply put, I want to turn my part-time things that I do, my podcasting, my writing, my content creation, into a full-time position. And I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't made a ton of money over the years um, doing this. I think some people look at a content creator and just immediately assume that they're making a lot of money and that they're able to do all the things they want to do. It's not the case. I'm 27 years old. I'm nearly approaching 30, and I still haven't gotten close to where I need to be. It's not to saying I'm giving up, because I'm not, but there are days like the last couple of weeks where it's just been a lot harder because you're trying to figure out, where do you belong in all of this. Sometimes you may have doubts and you say to yourself, do you want to continue down this path? Is it time to focus on something else? I don't really want to do that because I've grown such an amazing brand that I'm so proud of. Devil's State of Mind is the reason that I have a lot of other things going on right now. And I feel like over time I've kind of lost uh the main thing that I've been doing for years. I can still remember the first episode I ever recorded of Devil's State of Mind in the middle of the summer of 2020, not knowing where it was going to take me, and it's taken me to places that I didn't think I could get to. And I think more importantly, it's allowed me to meet so many wonderful people through social media and and through the podcast, and getting a chance to get to know people of all different walks of life and really just learn and become very friendly with a lot of people. I'm really thankful for everybody that I'm close with, that I talk to, um, and I've found a community and a place where I feel like I'm accepted for what I love doing and what I'm about, and that's talking about the Devils and talking about hockey. Because I don't know a lot of people outside of the Devils realm that really are interested in that. I just don't. Um, and it's really important to me um, to keep doing that, because not only is it good for me from building my career, but it's also good for me from a social life and just having people that I can talk to and that I can hang out with and that I can interact with on social media, and just having something that I can look at that can distract me even for a couple of hours away from the other stressors of my life. Now, what I've what I meant by when I say that I struggle with self-worth is, this is something that I've been struggling with since I was probably in seventh, eighth grade. Um, I really started to deal with getting bullied when I was in seventh and eighth grade. And I used to be a really, really happy go lucky kid that just always came in with a smile on my face and wanted nothing but the best for everybody and wanted everybody to like me, right? And for a lot of people, that will rub them the wrong way, especially at that age, because we're all insecure at that age. And so a lot of people look at it as the best way to counteract that is to bully that person to make them feel as bad as they feel internally. And it continued on into high school, where the first high school I went to, I ended up in three different fights defending myself because I was bullied and harassed a lot, playing football in the hallways during school. And I think the sad thing about it was that not a lot of the faculty there or adults that you're supposed to put your trust in did a lot to stop it. They just let it continue to happen. I think in some ways felt that maybe it was just my fault that it was happening. Um, when you're being questioned for different things about who you are and being made fun of publicly in front of everyone, could have long lasting impacts that I think people who are bullying that person will never understand how bad that really is. Um, so after 1 year at one school, I transferred to the local high school by me, and things didn't get a whole lot better the first year. Um, I became incredibly, incredibly depressed, where I would come home after school and right away, so you're talking like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I would fall asleep until like 7 or 8 and then do my homework, only because I just I didn't have anything to look forward to. I didn't really have a social life at that time. I spent all of my weekends spending time with my parents, and that was pretty much it. Um, the last 2 years got better for me. I still dealt with bullying. I still ended up in a couple of fights again, defending myself. And again, the faculty at that school stopped caring after a while. I think they gave up because they just simply got tired of having to deal with me. And I think after a while, they started to look at me as, well, it's got to be you. It has to be your fault because why else would they be constantly coming after you? And I remember one time a teacher said to me, quote, I thought you would be more like your brother, from an academic standpoint. And that was really hurtful. Still is. And she's actually one of the biggest motivating factors I have in terms of getting my bachelor's degree, because it's almost in a way showing her that just because I'm not my brother academically doesn't mean that I'm not capable of getting an education and doing well. But, you know, going through all of that, I don't think I've ever fully moved on from it. I think a big part of that is I've never moved out of my childhood home. I don't live very far from that school, and I feel like at times I'm very much constantly reminded of that time. I've gotten a lot better over the years, now that it being what, 8 years now, nearly a decade since I graduated from that school, and a lot of the people that I knew there that upset me are no longer there. But yeah, it still has an effect on me for sure. Um, Getting bullied by the first person you ever dated and not being respected in any way, shape, or form about the struggles I was going through because she never experienced something like that was was also hard. Was also hard, and I think all that left a lot of damage to me that I'm still trying to work back up, work up my confidence, work up my self worth, um, working on how to love myself more than loving anyone else. I think that's my ultimate goal, right? I think that's the ultimate goal of everybody. I think the first person that you need to love and care about more and greater than anyone else is yourself. I think there's no doubt about that in my mind. Um, so a lot of that still, I don't want to say haunts me, but still, still, you know, affects me to this day. And, I still live at home. This is my childhood room that I'm currently recording this in. It's what I've been using to record since I started Devil State of Mind. And we're actually going to be moving out of this house, myself, my mom, my dad, and my brother, um, because I financially don't have the money right now to move out on my own, even though I want to. But we're all moving out. And in a way, it's very relieving to me because I'll finally be able to start in a new place, um, and kind of make it my own. Because this room, a lot of it was made without my conscious memory. So it'll be an opportunity to start in a brand new room and everything like that. And in this day and age, it's hard for a lot of people my age, um, to move out on their own and to make enough money to do the things they want to do. I think the way society is right now is that you're supposed to spend a lot of your time just, working to make money, and you're not even really making a whole lot that's going to, always allow you to do the things that you want to do. And I think also what I've learned over time is I've run into a lot of people that gave up on their dreams when they were younger, maybe even in high school, because people told them that it wasn't feasible, that it wasn't, uh, that financially they were never going to get there, and that they had to start thinking realistically. I'm very fortunate enough to know that I have two parents that never said that to me and have never once pushed me to do that. They constantly want me to continue to do the things that I'm doing. They want me to achieve my dreams. And I know that I have the talent and the capability to be at the levels of being on things like NHL Network, or being a broadcaster in some realm, or working at ESPN, or something like that. And that's not being cocky, that's being confident and knowing my capabilities. But there's a lot of, it's much easier for people to close these doors and make it really, really hard, unless you know somebody. And I've been, you know, consistently pushing, creating context, reaching out to context, annoying people to say, hey, give me the opportunity. And I sit here to this day, and I'm forever grateful for Dylan Kaiser, who currently is one of the original co-founders, um, and man in charge here at the Hockey Podcast Network, and Isha Jerome, who no longer works at THPN, but was one of the co-founders, and the guy who found me originally. I'm so forever grateful that they found me on Twitter and they gave me the opportunity to talk to cover the team that I love and do something that I really, really love. And I get to make some money off of it. Not a lot, as I mentioned before, but I get to make money off of it. Um, I'm grateful for all of the websites that have given me an opportunity to write for them. I'm grateful, super grateful right now for Pucks and Pitchforks. Nick Villano, he does a fantastic job of getting back to me, of getting the articles that I have out really quickly. They look awesome. I love having the ability to show them to everybody on social media and say, "Hey, I wrote this, whether you agree with what I write or not." I know I just wrote about should the Devils pursue maybe a Taylor Hall trade and bring him back for depth scoring. I know people have a lot of opinions on that, and I get it. And I don't take any of it personally. I get it. You are entitled to your opinion. Um, but I'm forever grateful for that. I'm excited to start covering the New York Jets as well. I'm not a Jets fan, but just the opportunity to cover an NFL team in my area, I think, is exciting in its own right. Obviously, covering the Brooklyn Nets as well. I am a fan of them in the NBA. So I'm saying all this to say that you know I'm a product of someone that continues to not give up on their dream. That, yeah, I take a lot of jobs that don't make any money and things like that. But the reason that I do it is because all of it is an opportunity to continue to showcase who I am, get my name out there, and have people see, hey, this kid or this guy is capable of doing this at a very, very high level. And I know that one day I will get to the point where I will be able to make good money consistently doing what I love. And when I get to that point, it's going to feel amazing. Um, but obviously, right now, that's not the case. But you sacrifice a lot to do what you love. And if you're somebody who is not has didn't doesn't feel that way, or doesn't look at just looks at dreams and things like that as nothing more than just dreams, then you know I don't know what to tell you. I think it's so easy for a lot of us to just decide not to do what we want to do because of the way society has put us out there that you need to make money, you need to do this, that, and the other thing. You know, I have said this numerous times that I'm not going to stop doing the things that I do until there is nothing else I can do, until there is nothing else. And once I get to that point where it's truly over, then I will go and do something else. But for right now, I'm not. So that kind of leads me back to why I've been feeling so stressed out and worn out recently, because I do so much every week. I do so much, and I struggle with finding that balance. And I'm hoping that maybe this is the week that I can really take the time to sit down and focus on all of this and try to figure out what type of balance can I have. It's going to allow me to give you guys the content that you deserve and that I want to share with you. I want to find that energy again. I want to find that super passion again. It's not completely gone, but I need it to come back because that's what's going to make me feel better. And that's what's going to have you guys enjoy the content even more. Um, and like I said, I have been struggling with my self worth, and it's people like you that help me realize it again and make it all worth it and make it all worth just taking time out of my day to do this. And I appreciate that so very much, so incredibly much. um there's other things that I'm struggling with. I got diagnosed with anxiety and ADHD. Um, and luckily, I'm medicated for that now, so things have been getting better. I am in therapy. Also, I have been in therapy, and I'm talking about these things with my therapist as well. This was just something that I felt would be a good way for me, almost like a video journal, kind of in a funny way, to just talk about these things. Um, and I want to stress to everybody that I know it's easy to say this, but it really is true that if you think you're alone in this world dealing with things like I'm dealing with, you're not. You're not. There are millions of people out there all over the world that are dealing with these things on a day to day basis. And what's important to know is that everybody out there has at least one person that is willing to be there for them, and that there are opportunities out there for you to seek help, talk to somebody, and find ways to make life better than what it is right now for you. Um, and I'm a big proponent of mental health. Um, Mental health does matter. I know, especially for men, a lot of us were being told to toughen up and just get over it, but it's not reality. It just is not reality at all. It's important to talk about these things. It's important to feel like you have the openings to talk about them and go from there. And so, what I want to leave with everybody here on this episode is that I am going through a lot right now, a lot of different stressors, a lot of different ways that I'm being pulled. Um, but I promise you that I will get through it. I will get through it with the support of my family, with the support of my therapist, with the support of the coworkers that I'm very grateful to have. With all of that, because without that, I would be in a much worse place. Um, and I hope that this episode gives somebody out there the confidence to want to reach out to someone and say, "Hey, I need help. I'm going through this. I'm going through these struggles. I really need help." And I need to find ways to make things better for me. And at the end of the day, the only person that truly matters in this world is yourself. And working on yourself and making yourself the best version that you can be is the greatest accomplishment that anyone can have. If you get to a point in your life where you can stand there and say and think about all of the wonderful things that you're doing and how much you're taking care of yourself and how much you're making yourself the best possible you can be, that's better than any podcast episode or any content creation that you could ever make. It's true. It's very, very true. Um, so I wanted to end this episode just saying that I appreciate you guys so very much. I'm not going anywhere. I will do my absolute best to get podcast episodes out on a more consistent basis, maybe just one a week. Um, just trying to and not trying to make it too, you know, um, too over the top. I think really I want to get back to just simplifying things like I used to, which is just getting to the point of talking about it. Maybe no special graphics or anything. You just see my face, I talk, and we go from there. Because I think that'll get me back into a rhythm that I want to get in. Same thing goes for my writing. Same thing goes for working at Lead You and doing all of that. And at the end of the day, again, you are the only person that truly matters. And just know that even if you don't feel like that someone's out there, I'm there for you. I may never meet you. I don't know you at all, whoever's watching or listening to this episode, but I want you to know that you have somebody out there that cares, somebody out there that wants the best for you and wants everything to go so well for you, and that you can live a truly long, fulfilled, and happy life. That's what I want. So, yeah, like I said, I just wanted to come on here and talk about this. Your mental health matters so much. Don't ever have someone tell you that it doesn't, because it does. And it's so important to work on it for your own happiness. Because when you're working on it, then you're able to have the energy and the enjoyment to do the things that you want to do and that you have to do. Believe me, I've gone through these experiences. I've gone up and down. I'm going through a rough patch right now, but I will get out of it. Nothing is ever meant to last. This won't last either. This feeling sad and struggling right now, I will get through it. I will get through it. I promise you that. And if you happen to see me, out and about after checking out this episode and you just want to come and talk to me about these things, I'm all ears. I really am. And I just appreciate and love you guys so very much. I also hope that you guys had a wonderful and happy and healthy Thanksgiving. And now that it's December 2nd, we are literally less than 3 weeks away from Christmas. It's crazy how much is coming around. And then talking about the Devils really quickly, like I mentioned, tonight, big game against the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. Both teams going in different directions. Devils playing well of late, while the Rangers have really been struggling. The Devils cannot afford to allow the Rangers to get a win and get themselves back on track. For the Devils, they got to bounce back from that tough loss at home against Washington. Got to come out with a big win tonight and just keep themselves towards atop the Metropolitan Division in the Eastern Conference and just get going a little bit more of late. But yeah, just wanted to come on here and talk about all this. I appreciate you guys so very much, and I will be back very soon. I promise you. We will get back to regularly scheduled programming. I promise. But thank you guys again, and I look forward to talking with you guys very soon.